Oh,
Okay, we're live now. I just have to see if this video starts playing. I need to pause it. So you can start talking.
all right.
Hey guys, we're
So,
live.
we're really excited because we get to do a really cool book, Reintegration by Ashley Bogner. Is that how you say it?
So that's how I've been saying it.
There we go.
There we go. I'm hoping that's how we say it because that's what I've been saying. So, Ashley, if you watch this later, let us know if we've been butchering your name this whole time. I mean, I get it. I understand. Like, people put random letters in my last name. It's like, stop putting an I in my last name. I don't know how the R gets in my last name either. So I'm just like, I don't know. So names are hard.
I think
And I
this
also
one
work
is
in the
pretty
hospital.
phonetic, I think. So I think we're okay.
Yeah,
right?
I think we're good. Ellie says that's how she says it. So hi,
Here we
Ellie.
go.
Welcome
Right
to the live
here.
show.
Okay, so
you
I'm
got
also
to read this
apologizing
one.
ahead of time. We have family home today, so if you hear them in the background, my husband is home and is taking care of them. Hopefully they are all in heaven over there.
So you got to read this one this time.
I did. You know what? I got my book like 3 days ago.
Hey.
I ordered it. You know when I ordered it? September 29th.
My brother-in-law is still waiting for orders from Book Depository. Like, they have warnings all over their website about shipping to Canada right now.
Yes, yes. And, you know, that's just part of it. But still, I'm like 29th of September and the beginning-ish of November. That is a long time to wait for a book. But I have lots of patience, and Canadians are very understanding. So that's all good. But I got this book from the author, so she was awesome and gave it to me, and I have this one now in my hands, and I got to read it. So I was really happy. Huh?
Ashley sent you a copy?
Yeah.
I paid for mine. I ordered mine off of Amazon. I was really happy that that worked because it was Amazon.com.
Yeah, it still works.
Yeah. So no, that was really nice.
She actually reached out to me before we made this our book of the month and sent it out to me. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
has everybody read it? Still, I wonder how many people in the group have read it so far.
Well, my sister's trying to call me, and I
all these interruptions tonight. Real life, people. We're live.
I'm live.
So
stop calling me.
Nice like, Christmas tree, by the way, in the background. Nice Christmas tree in the background.
Thank you. Reintegration. I was blurbing this. If anybody really liked Anomaly, they would enjoy this one. And I still really stand by that. I really enjoyed it for that. And overall thoughts about this book. There was moments where I wish I had with the characters and a bit more of the relationship development. But that's my only complaint.
Well, because it's book number 1 in the series. And I think she hasn't even really started the second one. She hasn't got any inspiration yet. So from the last video, she did an author interview with Livy, the author of Coronation.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she interviewed Ashley, and I watched that on YouTube, and Ashley was talking about her writing the second book to this one, and at the moment she's not really put in a lot of effort to that, so she's gonna work on another book and then go back to this one. So I'm hoping we get book 2. Yeah, and it's not gonna take forever, because that would be really heartbreaking, because it does end you know, where you're anticipating the next plot point.
Yeah, like she really built up her second book very well.
Yeah. And this one doesn't really completely end, right? Like there's a lot to it that still we're waiting for. So I would hope that she's going to work on. So Ashley, if you're watching this, work on number 2.
Want it.
And it's, you know what? So overall, you thought it was pretty good, and you were hoping that there was going to be a bit more in the character development, which I also agree with. And what did you say the other one was?
Relationships development. I think the relationship could have been a little bit, but it was still well done. Like it was almost went from like slow burning friendship development to okay, I got to speed this up.
Yeah.
Like it's like she kind of ran out of time to develop this relationship.
So, and that's just with what's his name? Matt? Is it Matt? Matthew? Is it Matthew? Yeah, Matthew.
I like that name. I'm tired of
I do.
guy names.
No, it's a good name. What about the
like,
other relationships in there? What do you think about their development and stuff?
Well, I liked that little bit of a surprise we got with
Yes.
Although when she built it up to when they started talking about families and stuff and how they do families in the Federation,
yeah,
I was like, oh, I have an idea.
Did you
and
get
then,
it?
Like, I did.
I
was
did
like,
not.
I have an idea. Like, oh, I called it. I wanted this, and it happened.
Yeah, well, I kind of figured it out later, but when it first came about, like when she first started talking about relationships, I didn't tie the two together. And I'm not going to say what it is for spoilers, but the interesting thing is that whole concept of parents or siblings or anything to do with like family, you know, I'm really shocked at how what it brought to mind questions. Okay, so if they didn't know who their family or the parents were, then how did the children come about? And where were the parents? Are they, you know what I mean? It really brought to mind like how relationships in general were in this world, and maybe that's why it was so hard for her to develop this relationship with Matthew, because there wasn't a whole lot of relationship that she was close with. Even her best friend she wasn't super close with either.
No, that felt more like a convenience, which I understood, and I actually related to that one too, and how you're my best friend, and like they just kind of stuck together even though it really wasn't a healthy friendship.
Yeah.
But actually, what I loved about this book, and I could go on this entire tangent when you brought up families and stuff, so my big thing is I read dystopians and people are like, this could happen. This could totally happen. I could see this happening in our future. And a lot of people, like when Margaret Atwood's Handmaid's Tale came out, which I have not read, I watched clips from the new series and I'm never watching any of them again. Like, just I would not recommend it. But it's interesting to me that a lot of like secular dystopians come off with this idea, or even did this too, where the dystopians come from these distorted religious groups or a Christian background takes over and starts leading this patriarchal system. And people like, with especially what happened in the United States and with the Women's March and stuff, people are like, this could happen. This is so relevant right now. And they were like praising Margaret Atwood's Handmaid's Tale for being so relevant right now. And I'm thinking, no, this happening. So much of this intolerance act and everything is already happening. So for even me as a Christian to go out and say, wrong, this is the truth I have to present to you, and that's being wrong. I can't even like, you can't even say this part of a lifestyle is a sin. That anymore because you're hurting somebody else who believes that lifestyle isn't a sin. And so this Intolerance Act is what we're living today anyway.
Yeah,
And
I
I
totally
was just so
agree.
blown away with that.
Yeah, I really agree with that. When I read that and when I saw your comments about it, I was really intrigued, and I went into the book and I started reading it, and I'm like, this is absolutely real even today. Even though it was still a sci-fi sort of aspect to the book, it didn't like feel like it was not a sci-fi. Like it didn't feel like it was a contemporary book at all. But it was completely believable, like you were saying. And that Tolerance Act was very much, well, maybe not so much in all of the world, but definitely in Canada, we can feel this because we do have that tolerance that is almost, if you're not tolerant with what we are, then we're not tolerant at all with what you are. And so it's not an inclusive thing to everything, because there's no way you can be, but yet you see this as an absolute. And if you come against that absolute, well, then you're the evil person and have to be dealt with, right? And so it's very believable even to this day. And I could completely relate to that, you know, aspect of this book. Absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, and even the aspects of it's by the government and that family idea taken away, that part too, because I know like recently with our municipal elections, people were concerned about which school board directors to elect. We're trying to pass ideas where if kids wanted to talk about certain things, didn't necessarily get to know what the kids were coming to talk about. And so it's taking the parents out of in the schooling system. Like there were some issues with even are we allowed to communicate in our province? Issues very vaguely. I think that I'm not too sure. So just taking away some of those things as well, and just taking more and more parents out of being run at school and stuff. I'm already seeing that just our election, everything.
It's even more. Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's so funny that you say that. I am raising 5 children, and we had them in public school, and it was interesting. There's a lot of issues that Canadians won't say that they disagree, because they really can't say a lot of things. Otherwise, they're targeted, right? And so we're pretty like quiet about it. But the thing is that we will act on it. And so I've done things to voice my opinion quietly. And it is a matter of fact, like if you say anything, it's really tough. So this Tolerance Act is completely believable. And the whole issue, like you said, with the government and raising children, they really do push for that in a lot of places. And it can be a benefit to have that extra help. I know when they were in school, it was really nice for me to have a bit of a break. But then you also are dealing with the issue of raising children. And because there's so many working parents, they need to have some sort of somebody helping them with schooling. And yet there's this pass the buck sort of issue that happens in there. Whereas in this book, she highlights it really well. And in this future, the children are raised by the government. They're told what their job is going to be. They really don't have a lot to say, and nobody complains about it, because it is for the best of everybody in this book.
Fascinating when authors you want to make that. It's so tricky when you created what's going to happen in the future. Now, a lot of people say like the Hunger Games could happen. That could be in the future. You know, it was people could be like, this could work, this could happen. And same with the Out of Time series by Nadine. It was very happened. They went away, like, you know, if people wanted to practice faith, they did it very quietly. People looked down on parents for teaching their children their faith until they came of age, if they did come of age, and choose that as adults to practice the faith if they wanted to. Had that very well done when she created a dystopian. So for Ashley's book, as far as I know, her first book, I don't know if she still published any other ones, but to create a dystopian so believable and so relatable to a lot of events was just, when I was reading it, like, I think all of my little tabbies were just from points of how I could relate this to life and just look at it that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there were some issues for me in like more just like the writing itself, because it is a novice book, and I could tell that, you know, I have some tabbies here that said like the tense switches, and so there's a couple little things she'll say, like, number of things we discussed, these things, and instead of describing what those things were, it just says things. So like there's some novice things in here. No pun intended. But as you go into, so that's basically about like the first up until the 31st page, basically, is when I stopped typing, because she really started getting into a groove there. And I also was able to look past some of those little things. And then I really got into the book. So it was really good. Like, I loved the character, the main character. She did seem a little detached and attached to her phone, but I thought it was, or her games that she liked to play. I thought it was perfect for this generation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, it's part of our generation that they can relate to this kind of person who's just totally absorbed in what's happening, doesn't even think that anything's wrong with what's going on, because she's quite content, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm really interested into what happens though after. I mean, it all kind of hits at the end. She's determined to do something about it, but then it leaves us a bit hanging, and I'm really curious of what's going to happen. So I'm kind of like, I love this book, but I feel like I'm not satisfied. I want more to find out.
Yeah, I definitely want more.
Yeah, like,
oh, beloved friend says hello. Say hello.
Say that again. You
have reason, like, I've talked to her a couple of times, and I forget your name every time. Bad, but her username is beloved friend, and I think her full name is Megan.
Well, I actually didn't hear any of that because you cut out, so I'm not sure what you said there.
We have some people. They said hi.
Hi. It's seriously, is it me that's cutting out?
I knew that, and I was going to say Amy.
I feel like I've got really bad connection.
Me.
Can you ask them if anybody's cutting out? Because I feel like I'm like seriously cutting out, or you're cutting out.
Guys, who's cutting out? Me or Melanie? Not cutting out for me at all.
It's not cutting out for you at all? Have you heard it back from anybody?
No. Oh, I'm cutting out.
Who's cutting out?
Me.
You are?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because I'm like having a really hard time following what you're saying.
Maybe I'm talking too fast.
No, it's not that. It might be connection, could be wind. Is it windy there?
No, I looked up. It's like,
That's
is
really
it?
funny. Oh, that's hilarious. No, well, anyways, if we're cutting out really bad and you need us to go back, let us know so we can stop what we're saying and you guys can catch up to what's going on.
I'll try to maybe talk slower.
You're
I don't
fine.
know. It says I have good connection.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's not a problem at all. Let's keep moseying on.
Maybe if I turn down my HD and not worry about that.
Well, you're like
There we
super
go.
close now.
Oh, whoa.
What did you do?
Mine was on HD, so high def, so that could be why mine was slowing down. So I turned off the high def, and so I should be on better quality.
Okay. See?
It was
There we
me,
go.
the high def. High def is not always the best. And thank you, Amy. I love my little tree.
Yes, it's so cute.
Okay, so back to the book.
Yeah.
So for characters, I also really enjoyed Matthew. And I think with Matthew, we got a lot of the faith elements added in. And I liked how, even though they did this thing to him of reintegration, he had this sense, like it wasn't his memory at all, but he had this sense on the inside that this wasn't right and that these things were not right. And he couldn't pinpoint why, but I guess after being raised a Christian, or however they mention it, or yeah, just being raised a, I forget.
It's like it's not outsider, but it's based they're called, yeah, what is that word? They are a dun, 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 dun. Does anybody know? Write in the comments if you already know what it is.
You're like totally, yeah, this is a gong show.
Regulator, no. Keep the regulators.
She's a regulator.
Oh, she's the regulator. Yeah, she's the regulator. I can't remember.
Called
I have to like skim through the whole book. Oh, is it on the back?
I'm like, well, that would have been useful. I mean, like,
yeah, it doesn't even say on the back. What is this? How come we can't find the one word that mentions who he is? Outland.
Tolerance.
A group of revolutionaries in the Outlands. That's what it is.
Okay. I think they're called intolerance because they're intolerant to it.
The intolerant. Well, I think it's called the revolutionaries. I don't know, but I think that's what it is.
Whatever he's called.
Yeah.
I just really liked how about almost a turn down my HD some more. I liked how she brought in. Wow, my video quality is awful. But I liked how she brought in.
We still see your heart through it all.
I liked how she brought in almost a gospel message. And they got to, like, it was just a really well done gospel message that I found. It was simple, it was beautiful. And at that point, Catherine was with what she had already been learning with Matthew. So even though he didn't have...
Yeah. The intolerants are dangerous. Dun, dun, dun. Found
even
it.
with Matthew's lack of memory, still able to with his lifestyle, present a gospel, even though he wasn't like style or anything. He was just living what he knew.
Yeah.
from how he lived before.
Yeah, and I think like, you know, I thought I was really interested to see how she's going to deal with this because he lost his memory, yet he was already a child of God. So I was like, yeah, like I wonder like how this works, you know, and salvation and like I wonder where she's going to go with this because I was really curious. But she did a really good job at, you know, though he lost his memory, there was this, he had, you know, God was in him trying to say, hey, listen, remember me, I'm here, you know, you haven't lost everything. And it was really good. I thought it was awesome for that spiritual aspect of it.
Spirit keeping him knowledgeable.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't say that, but that's what you kind of felt, you know, that's what you kind of sensed is what she was trying to get at.
Yeah.
No, it was really good. So, like,
Yeah,
I also wanted to say real quickly, I liked how this book was formatted. I've read books in the past, and you know, they've not been laid out inside very well, and you can really tell it's a self-published book. This one didn't have that feel like it. Same with Joanna Alonso's. She had hers laid out really well as well, and I really liked how the book itself inside is laid out. The paragraphing was done well. There was a couple things here and there that I picked out, and I was like, oh, okay. But for the most part, it was done really well. Like, I'm glad she must have paid for an editor or something that helped her with that. So that was really nice.
Yeah, I don't even know how you go about. So you're the expert here.
You have to pay for someone to lay it out for you. Basically, what the layout means is to design the inside. So your chapter headings, your where the name goes on the top, and where your page numbers go, your page numbering, indents, and they go over basically everything. Editing is basically the wording, structure of the wording, structure of the plot system, and grammar and things like that. So, you know, you have to pay for it all.
I really couldn't tell. I mean, but like for a self-published book, this was very well done. Very interesting to discuss when we NaNoWriMo is publishing, because unfortunately it's really difficult to get into the bigger publishing world. But I would love to see like somebody pick some of these books up that we've done, because it's definitely something we need, like a dystopian like this where people can bring out and they're like, man, that feels like today. Yes, because she did this so relatively, like, so and true to our world, and built a dystopian world that you could foresee happening.
Yeah, like, and I totally agree. It had such a Kristen McGee feel to it that I think Kristen McGee's was a little bit more sci-fi in the sense like futuristic, but it still had that same vibe. It still had that same feel. And with Kristen McGee not writing anything in the future, this is a go-to for me. I mean, I would really like to see Ashley do some more of this work and to be really encouraged that, I mean, she has major potential. This is a really, really good work. And I think that it would be awesome to see, like you said, her book get picked up, put on the stores, and the series to come out. You know, even if it's a duology, I'd be happy with a duology even. Like, it doesn't have to be
I just want to know how this ends.
I know.
I want to know what happens to them.
I know, especially because there was a lot going on. And I'm curious about that lady. What's her name?
Oh, that chick.
Yeah, I wonder if she's involved a little bit in her life more than it seems on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really am curious. Like, about her family dynamics. I'm really curious.
Oh.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'm really curious about that. I'm curious about what's going to happen. Like, I really don't know what's going to happen, and I don't want to say anything, but it is something I'm like, I need the other book.
Oh, Amy, this is the first book. So
Yes,
this is the...
It's in series. This is number 1.
Yeah. Melanie read a book in order.
Yay!
That's okay. I thought about it more, and there's actually a lot of books as a kid that I read, not realizing that they were part of a series or a duology.
Oh,
that I've
really?
read out of sequence. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to redo your guilty reader tag.
Oh yeah, I gotta. I'm guilty. Yeah, so this is the first book in the series. I think first book she got published. I was really impressed with the cover art too.
Yeah, I don't know what the drip has anything to do with the...
I don't know either. Get the drop, but like the cityscape and everything, photography was really nice.
Yeah, and I liked this perfect citizen, a captured rebel. One decision could destroy them both. I love that. Such a
very good.
Yeah.
That's a very good thing.
And I was really curious too, like what the reintegration was going to look like. And I just think she did such a, like, I really can't hype about this book enough. Like, I really do think she did a good job. You know, I'm being realistic. Like, the first part was really hard because I could tell this was a novice novel. But after, like, just before 31 pages, and usually about 100 pages, you're either in it or you're not. And I was in it. You know, it was good.
Yeah, it takes me 100 pages. I've started my own little policy that I have to read 100 pages of a book.
Yeah.
Then I DNF it.
Yeah.
Then I've given it a good shot.
Yeah, and even with these little things that I noticed, I still was very interested in the book. I was extremely compelled to read more about it, and I really was curious. She did such a good job. Like you said earlier, too, I think the character development would have been nice, but I think that would happen in book number 2. Like, I don't know if there was enough time in this case scenario to really give us more of that character development. But for novice writers, they usually do about a 2... Like, my first book that I wrote, it was a bit 2-dimensional characteristics, the first one that I wrote. The second one was not. I learned to develop those characters a little deeper and things like that. For her debut, I think she did an extremely well job.
Yeah, no, it was very good for a debut. So, Amy just let us know here in the chat, ever read the book Toward a Secret Sky, which was put out by Blink Publishing, and it's got a forbidden romance between an angel and a human girl.
I am having deja vu actually right now. That is so strange.
Honestly, anything with angels in it, I'm like, no.
You know, to be honest, I think I haven't picked up anything from Blink YA. I think I did once, and I learned my lesson that they are supposedly a Christian publishing house, but that they don't really focus on the Christian aspects. They're just looking for clean fiction. I also gave them one of my books, and it dealt with real life situations. As Angela knows, she's read one of my books before, so I don't shy away from real life issues, and they still wouldn't accept it. And I think it was because it was a bit too Christian.
Yeah.
So, you know, at that time, they actually, instead of mine, they took, oh, what's her name? She actually started on Wattpad. She got a huge following on there because it was a band that she redid the story on. Mm-hmm. And it was about a band character, and so it got really popular. But then when they went to go make it into a book, they had to take out all the band names, and it wasn't fan fiction anymore. It was totally a different book, and nobody really it wasn't about their fans anymore, like the people that they cared about. So it was interesting because it had nothing to do with God.
Yeah.
So I think after that I realized, they're not really, you know, there might be some spiritual aspects to these books, but maybe not Christian focused, or at least not really at all.
Yeah, I mean, I started reading that one because I got it off of NetGalley, but it was like Lori Langdon's Dune, which was pretty much like a hot kilt boy. Like it was just
I don't think I
hot boy.
remember. Did I start reading that book?
We started reading that together for another book club, and then that's when we said, you know what? I don't like this. Let's start our own book club.
That's right. That's right. That's actually why we started this book club.
Was because of Dune.
Yeah.
And that was a blank book. Yeah, because
I think if it had more of a Christian aspect to it, I would have loved that book. Like
it was it's Outlander for teenagers.
Yeah, and I think it would have been super cool if we had some more Christian values and intertwined into that story. And I was really looking forward to it because it's actually promoted as Christian.
Yeah, it very much is.
And I'm surprised Blink-Y wants to promote Christian in niche, because if they're not really, I don't know, it's like they're trying to get into the cross culture, but, you know, it's going to be tough for them to do that.
I just know I was tired of hearing the phrase hot kilt boy. And then in Toward a Secret Sky, there was a hot guy in a kilt again. And I was just like, I am so done.
So is that
Outlander wannabes.
Towards a Secret Sky you did read?
I started, but I could not, like the whole hot boy shows up. I'm trying to find
move. Oh, I'm sitting on my legs. They're falling asleep.
So Amy would very much love to read your books, Melanie.
Oh, you know what, Amy? I took them off of Amazon because I was like not wanting them to be out anymore. I need to work on them. They need work. And I was really thankful. Actually, Angela had mentioned a couple things, and I was really happy about that. So it made me go, you know what? I think I could do better. And so I actually have a few books only, but it leaves you on too much of a cliffhanger. It's worse than this.
That was a terrible cliffhanger.
And I need to finish that. So what I'm planning on doing, I can send you a signed copy of the one so you have my original one if you want. But what my plans are to do, I've got these two books that I'm working on right now. One's for Nano and one's another one. But eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the books that I wrote and I'm going to intertwine them into one full novel. And that's my plan. So,
I think that'll work out as long as you fix that massive, terrible cliffhanger at the end.
Well, that's why the whole point of a one whole book. So, it's actually only 20. It's a small book, right, Angela? Like you read it in one day, so it could definitely be a full novel if I just put it in with the other one. She's got it there.
I don't even know where I put it.
I think the original first book that I have, I'll start to intertwine it into the story plot line instead of having as a separate book. That's the plan.
That's 127 pages.
Yeah, that's the first one. And that one I'll try to intertwine with the whole plot as a backstory. So, good writing tip for NaNoWriMo. Do your backstory story first and intertwine it later into the story next.
This one's 209 pages, but I read it in a shot. And like literally the last line in this book is boom, cliffhanger. And I'm just like, he's going to end it this way? Like what? And Amy would love a signed copy.
Okay, so if you want, how can we do this? Just email me. Where is my email? If you go
message you on Twitter?
Yeah, message me on Twitter. If I'm sure I'm following you or you're following me, then I'll follow you back and just tweet me and I will private message you my email. And then you can send me your ID.
If you have Twitter.
Yeah, if you have Twitter. Do you have Twitter?
She's answering. Yes, she has Twitter. Okay, Twitter.
All right.
Actually, to be honest, Melanie.
Yes.
This is my first author-signed book.
Aww. You know, I designed that cover.
Ooh.
Yeah. But then they were like, they wouldn't give me credit for it because it's theirs, and they said we're putting our name on it. I know. So that company went under. I don't know why, but anyways.
Anywho.
Back to our story.
So, yes. Self-publishing.
It's a tough go, and she did an amazing job. And actually, I'm really surprised with this book, Reintegration, how well it was publicized and how we found out about it.
Yes. Yeah, well, Ashley had on Goodreads, Amy says thank you. Ashley has on Goodreads, she had this invite to join in on her cover reveal. And I was like, hey, I'm a book blogger. So I said yeah, I'll do it on this.
Oh, because it is designed in 2000. Oh, so it's copyright 2017. So it literally just came out. No wonder she's not working on the second book yet. Man.
Darn it.
That's going to take forever.
Yeah.
If you're doing Nano,
so
Ashley, are you doing Nano? We need you to do Nano.
What? I don't know. I tweeted her a couple times on Twitter, but yeah, it's been really fun. I think this was the book. Actually, this and The Sacred Scarred were the two books that kind of gave us the idea to do NaNoWriMo, because we were finding there's people that joined our book club and they didn't join to get their book published. That's not what I want to say here. But they joined, they were part of it, and then they asked either me or Melanie if we would write their book for them. And they didn't ask us at all to put it in the book club or anything. So I read The Sacred Scarred and said, hey, we need to read this. And Melanie was asked to read Reintegration. Hey, we should do this for the book club. And so because we saw the next generation of Christian writers struggling with self-publication and trying to get their books known, we were like, this is great. And I've been told by people, if you have a problem with what's out there for YA, which I do, even in the Christian fiction world, I have some issues with what is out there, and you fix it. And I'm like, okay,
absolutely.
What's that mean? And they're like, write a book, write something that you want young people to read. And so this is why we did NaNoWriMo.
Yeah, I'm so excited for NaNoWriMo. I want to talk about it so bad, but I know that's our next video.
And Amy is writing too. Look at that. She wrote a short story called Scattered Pieces Made a Whole.
See? This is awesome. Is it what is it about?
This is turning into a Nano live show.
I know. I'm totally want to talk about Nano. She's made it into the conversation. Let's just go with that.
Rabbit trail.
Yes.
Well, I'm actually very while Amy's answering.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for our Nano live show because, you guys, we've had more discussion in that NaNoWriMo discussion group. I mean, it's only been a max of 6 people, but we've had more discussion in that group than any of our books.
I know. So cool.
And it's fascinating to see who's all writing what, and each person in there had a different genre that they were writing. And Melanie said in there, we have the next future of Christian fiction writers in our group. That gave me goosebumps when I read that. So we have.
Could you imagine though? We are part of this movement that literally would take over Christian fiction again as a new generation of writers. I'm so excited because there's so much potential. Like the 2 books we've read so far, Angela, in our group, I'm really excited about. There is a lot of potential. And I think that there needs to be, I mean, my goodness, if I had the money, I'd be publishing them myself. You know, and getting publishing stuff ready and going.
Well, Amy says it's hard to explain. We would have to read it.
Yes.
Which we would be more than willing to.
Yeah. It's a short story, too. I'm sure it's not going to be like a long, you know, thing. It could be easy. If it's a couple hundred pages like my book, it's in one day. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
One evening.
I know. Hey, did you get a hard copy? Did you get the hardback copy of it?
What?
Or is it paperback?
Yeah. You sent me a PDF first?
Yes.
So I read it PDF, and then you sent me the paperback.
Paperback, okay. Because I got one hardback, and I don't know who has it, but I don't. And I forgot who I gave it to, and now I don't have a copy of any of my books. Can you imagine?
I was going to say, you can't have mine.
No, it's okay. I have the original book.
She says it's 7 chapters.
That's not bad at all. I would love to read it.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at reading PDFs and ebooks, but I'm willing.
We both are terrible at it, but
I know.
If you want to, both our emails are down below. We are like totally able, like we're more than willing to like promote the next generation of Christian writers. Because you know, like we talked about Blink and some of the issues we had with that. It's like where like even with Thomas Nelson, I'm looking at some of the books. I won't mention the authors because you guys probably know this all by now. But I'm reading this and I'm like, why is this in here? This is what I'm worried about when I read secular books.
Yeah.
Like this is what I'm apprehensive about when I pick up a secular book. I should not be apprehensive about this book where the author has won the Christie Award, and the Christie Award is excellence in Christian writing.
Yeah.
Is what it says. And this is Thomas Nelson HarperCollins Christian publishing.
Yeah.
So even if it has the HarperCollins on it, it's still part of their Christian publishing. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. That's why we do a lot of books, and we really try our hardest when we're finding new books. You know, to be really honest, like we haven't been able to find some good stuff lately. And so when we do find it, we're really excited and we want to share it with you guys, and we definitely want to read the books with you. But we've gone to independent works because that's where
we're running out of YA in Christian publishing. And I mean, it's fabulous that we went to independent works. It's not like it was the step down or anything.
No. But that's
this
where
is what we found.
But that's where we're finding good quality content.
Yeah, this is where we're finding what needs to be out there. And so that actually brings us, like, I can mention now our December book, because you guys all know that we're doing Nano for November. And then in the beginning of December-ish, where Melanie and I work out our schedule, we will be doing a NaNoWriMo live show. So like an extended version of this live show, because this is what this turned into.
It'll be more based on like our experiences. Although I really loved your vlog, by the way. I just have to say that was so nice. It was so cool and just so real. Loved it. I think I liked it. I haven't commented on it yet because I knew we were gonna have this live show and I wanted to tell you.
I think you did though. You did.
Did I comment already? I probably did, because I honestly was just so excited about it.
Yeah. So like that's our live show for NaNoWriMo. So we're going to talk about our experience. Melanie can maybe talk about some more into like self-publishing and just maybe even the struggles to find agents, to find.
Also, guys, I have been trying to, when I see content that will help you, I've been trying to link it in the Nano area, or at least on the Twitters, and linking it to CC Christian YA, the Twitter account that Angela's amazing at. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys have those things so you guys can read up on these articles. A lot of these authors, they do a really good job. Sometimes they're editors too, and they've had some really good articles. Jill Williamson has been putting out videos as well, all about how to make a book, and it's really good stuff. So
Yeah. So we'll talk more about that in our 9 live show, but I'll also mention our December book, or books, actually. So our December books are going to be an old favorite, which was actually kind of inspired by reading this one. And a lot of people commented on how much they love this series in the group, and that is the Anomaly trilogy by Kristen McGee. We're going to read an entire trilogy, reread, or read for the first time if you haven't yet. So we're going to do an entire Anomaly read through for December. So there are 3 books, which I didn't grab.
And while she's grabbing that, you guys, if Lindsay sees this, and hopefully she does, if she doesn't see it, remind Lindsay she's actually been wanting to reread this series too. So maybe this would be a good opportunity for her to be a part of the group and reread that series. Challenge out for you, Lindsay.
Oh, she's throwing it down. Oh, so Amy's never read these. Okay, Amy.
Oh my goodness, they're so good.
Yeah, so this is perfect. So it's Anomaly, which, like, the white balance is terrible because they're very white books. Luminary and Revolutionary. And if you're looking at buying, like, honestly, just go buy them.
Yeah,
like,
I did. Plus, they look really good on the shelf.
Yeah, there's the spine work on these. Yeah, really well done. But if you can afford it, I mean, I don't want you to spend money you don't have. If you can afford it, just go and buy these. I guarantee these to be good content. And so we're reading these together, about 300 and some pages each. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I'm in my library and saw them on, and Dee hasn't read them either. Perfect. We have like newbies on here.
That's awesome. That's going to be so much fun.
All right, this is great. So we're going to read the Anomaly trilogy. Loved it. I'm so excited for this now when I have it. Like, this is 2 of you that haven't read it, but I'm just so pumped.
I know.
So, I took these out of my library. I instantly went on Book Outlet and bought them. They are available on Book Outlet if you want cheaper copies of them. Good copies, except I scratched mine.
How did you scratch yours?
I don't know. She has like part of her nose ripped off on here.
Oh, I feel so sad. Maybe I need to send you one for Christmas.
But yeah, so I took these out of my library. I got them off the Book Outlet, so they are, at least 2 of them are still available on Book Outlet if you would like to buy them. So that is a good place to go.
If you're in Canada, do not buy them for Book Depository if you're waiting for it for Christmas. Just heads up.
You need it for December. Don't do Book Depository. So Christmas gifts. Yeah. So yeah, we're reading them together. I'm really excited now to have people who can gush about it. We're reading the whole trilogy so we can have a spoiler-ish live show. So there will be spoilers. We're going to talk about the whole thing. Amy's Canadian.
Another Canadian.
I thought you were in the States for some reason when I was emailing with you. I love finding Canadians on here.
This is exciting. I love Americans and Canadians, but Canadians have a nostalgic part of my heart.
Also, we have all our Kiwi friends from New Zealand too. So that was pretty awesome.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm excited for December now.
I'm excited for November and December and the new year. Like, it's a lot of stuff happening, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's just like, look what happens when you just get, oh, she's from BC.
Oh, I'm from that area. That's incredible. Wow, that's great.
Melanie and I are very protective about our location for obvious reasons. So,
yeah.
But it's awesome.
That's really cool. I tell everybody I'm from the West Coast. It can be anywhere, and so it's really interesting that's so close. That's really cool. You got to tweet me.
Well, you guys can find out on Twitter how, like Amy said, I wonder how close, but you guys
You have
can
to tweet me.
chat on Twitter and we can even do a meetup.
Yeah, wow, that'd be really cool.
Okay, so
Okay, moving on, let's go.
Reintegration, I gave a 5-star rating to it because of how relevant and great in the writing was. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see more from Ashley and to see her growth and potential of where she's going to take her gift, because she is a gifted author.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm actually just looking up online on Goodreads what I rated it. I think it's a 4 out of 5 star that I rated it. I think. So I'm just looking up what I rated.
No, I can't remember.
Can you see what I rated on there? I'm just looking my oh, I'm up here. Hold on one sec. My books.
I'm pretty sure I did 5-star because
I think you did a 5-star. I remember you did a 5-star. So
oh, love it first page. Like, are you talking about the Anomaly? Have you not read the Anomaly series yet?
oh my goodness, really?
We're finding people. Like, this is great. We need to bring back some of the oldies.
Yay!
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
so
when were
excited.
these printed?
I did 3.5 out of 5 stars for Reintegration. Only because of the whole newbie effect in the beginning, 31st 30 pages. But once I got after that, it was fine. So it's 3.5 stars that I did. But I love the story itself and everything. My 3 stars aren't at all a negative. They just
I did 5. But honestly, being a newbie myself, yeah, maybe I didn't. Okay, so she's read Anomaly. She never finished a Luminary, got a little bored, which I understand. This one does drag a little bit. Oh, talking about Reintegration. Okay, yeah, that one. Also, it's a self-published book. It is available on Amazon.com. It was super easy to order. So I left links in the Goodreads page, in the Goodreads group, if you want to go order it. Like we said, Melanie gave it 3.5. I gave it a 5-star rating. These books came out. No idea. Oh, 2014. So.
Wow. I love her stuff. Did her contemporary stuff come out after or before this stuff?
I think these were the latest ones. "2012 was the 3rd book in that series.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So then Luminary came out 2014. Luminary and Revolutionary came out.
And she did 6 books in literally 3 years or something like that. She put out a ton of books. Yeah. I think that's why she doesn't do, she's a teacher as well. And so I think that's why she didn't want to do any more books when she's working full time and then also having to write that many books in a short period of time. I think she just got really burnt out. But she's a really good writer.
If she's taken enough of a break, I would be okay if she wanted to start up again.
Yeah. I saw that she went on a tour and taught in like Asia somewhere. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Oh yeah, Hype can do that. A book.
What's that?
Oh, love at first page. Liked Anomaly, wasn't favorite thing. I think it was a case of the hype getting to me and getting a little let down. And you know, honestly, like Luminary had almost like a second book slump to it.
It totally did.
Yeah.
It was like about I pushed through that one as well, but the 3rd book is incredible. This first book's incredible. The 2nd book has a lull to it. It does. You have to kind of keep in mind that usually a 2nd book in the series does, but there is an integral part to the 2nd book that had me, oh, I cried.
I can't remember it. Well, I guess I need to reread
I'm
it.
not going to tell you until our live show.
But yes, Kristen McGee has a novella coming out with a bind up with Melody Carson and 2 other authors. We discussed it. Can I find a physical copy of that one anywhere?
I have not been able to, and I'm usually pretty like I usually stay away from bind ups unless I'm really into them. But usually I have a hard time getting into those ones.
Yeah, with multiple authors.
Yeah, so I want to be excited, but I'm not.
And to me, yeah, and like Love at First Page mentioned, it had a supernatural subplot to it. And I read the plot, and it sounded like a modern day Judas or something. Like, it didn't sound appealing to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking of, yeah, so I think it was the group of authors and just what it was. Like, if it was Krista by herself,
Yeah.
I would be like, yes, I buy this.
Yeah. But, oh, this is the little series that's coming out. Is this what you're talking about? I think I honestly saw the advert for it and I just kind of skipped over it. I did kind of like mention it to anybody that was willing and wanting to do anything about it, but I personally I'm not so overly excited about. I have a hard time with bind ups. I have no idea what it is, but it just doesn't lure me in enough.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's our December books. We should probably start wrapping up.
Okay, sounds good.
So that's our December books. I'm really glad to see a couple of you who've never read it before or haven't even finished. If you want to give it a try with us again, and we'll give it a go. I know, like, let's just see. I like reading what other people have thought about other stuff. So, and I see a bunch of people doing a bunch of book recommendations in the live chat, so that's cool. And I'm gonna have to mark all of these down. But yeah, if you guys have recommendations for books you want to see in the future, even if they're like a few years old or something, a recommendations discussion on our Goodreads page too. Like Melanie and I said, we are struggling. Like, we have no idea what we're doing for January because we need to go over books again and see what we're doing for January. So yeah, if you guys want to leave us recommendations, like I said, even for older books, we can do rereads, we can do reads for the first time. They do need to have Christian content and Christian values. That's the only stipulation. YA, because that's what we focus on.
Yeah, we really try to stick to YA. I mean, we've discussed lots of different books even that kind of push the YA boundaries a little bit, and we really want to stick to YA. It's just really nice to read that genre and to really get people interested in it because there's such a plethora of YA out there, but that are just not Christian. And there's not enough coming out, and we really want to read that a lot. So yeah, we would really appreciate, like Angela was saying, please do put in those recommendations. We will check them out and we will talk about them. We'll pray about it and get back to you guys, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, Brian Davies books. I gave up my Dragon series because I wasn't interested in it, and now I want to get them back. They're still at the bookstore I took them to, but it feels stupid to use my credit I got for them to buy them back again.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I might do that because now the entire series is there, which I didn't have before, and they're all in matching covers.
Really?
So, yeah, I should just go. If they're still there, I should just go pick them up.
I did see that, and I did look into that, and I was really, because right now I'm doing the Jerry Jenkins and somebody else's one. It's like a fantasy sort of one. I talked about it in one of my videos. Anyways, it's really good, and I'm reading it aloud to one of my kids, and so it's like the book.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very fantastical and stuff like that. So, anyways, rabbit trail.
Okay, Amy, I'll go back and buy them. If that's what the do it means, I'll go back and
do it. Yeah.
But yeah, so leave those recommendations. Like I said, there's so few coming out. Like, we didn't realize when we started a book club struggling to find books for this.
I know.
And we really are. Like, we have our chats.
Like June, July-ish, we've got a couple coming. So
Yes. I did a video
But
for the
from like
July one.
January to like the summertime, we need more.
But anyway, like I said, let's wrap this up again because we keep doing this. December, join us for the Anomaly trilogy. Love to see you guys for the NaNoWriMo live show. As you can tell, we are really excited for this. This is my first time. I think this is, Melanie, your second?
Yeah, it's my second time.
Second time. So second time for Melanie, first time for me. I'm a total newbie. Melanie's been reading. I sent her
No,
an
I think
email.
it's my third. I just never won. Anyway, sorry, go on. You said me.
I even had to send Melanie like part of my book and be like, am I staying in the right tense, in the right point of view? Like, is this right? Like, is this how I do this? So that's
And she
how
did
new
just
I am.
fine.
So yeah, join us for the NaNoWriMo live show. We will let you guys know our Twitter account and our Instagram account. I've been doing announcements on there as well, and those will all be on there.
Hey,
so guys,
quickly, I'm sorry to jut in, but nano sprints.
okay.
Are you going to mention those? Because I know we're, going to do the live show, but maybe we can just do a hint out of nano sprints because that was really cool.
Yes. So Melanie, I'll get her set up on the actual Twitter account, but she's doing really good like tagging the Christian YA Twitter account. We will take turns running that account and doing Twitter sprints when we have time. And we'll let you guys know via Instagram and via Twitter when we're doing those sprints. And both our schedules are so up and down, and Melanie's got a lot of things and people to take care of over there. So when we like have a moment, we're like, hey, let's run some Twitter sprints. We'll let you guys know on the Twitter. So we have over half of a month left. So we'll let you guys know sprints if you guys want to join us. Thank you. I forgot about that. So that's it for us today, guys. I know we talked mostly just about how great of a dystopian this was, and just it was a great book. So if you guys haven't read it yet, I do recommend it. We kept this one spoiler free for you. Join us for Anomaly and join us for NaNoWriMo. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching and joining us and chatting with us and having you guys there. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye.